Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again today. This is Workshop Quick Takes. Today on Project XJ, we're finally going to get around to showing step by step how to replace the base foam in your front seats. The front seats are a high wear area, especially the driver's side, and the front base foam usually goes first. If you can replace that, you can usually get a lot more comfortable life out of your vehicle. Today we don't really need any unusual tools. There will be one large Torx bit, but the main thing is you're going to need a hog ring pliers. And unless you live on a ranch or happen to have done upholstery work before, there's a chance you don't have one of those. Make sure you order the kit that includes the extra hog rings, and then you'll be home free. Anyway, we went the expensive route and ordered the Summit Racing replacement foam bases. These are brand new. They're designed for a couple models of older Wranglers, TJ I think, but with a little bit of trimming they will fit pretty much any 9701 XJ Cherokee seat, as well as any ZJ Grand Cherokee. That was the first generation of the Grand Cherokee. Same seat layout in either vehicle. So, let's get outside, pull the driver's seat, and see what this takes. Okay, before we can work on the seat cushion, we have to get the seat out. And even though these were swapped in from a ZJ, on the ZJ Cherokees, the front seats were absolutely identical to those in the XJ in terms of mounting hardware. So, we have 2 bolts to pull out here and then 2 more into the back of the seat. So, we'll start with these 2. And then slide the seat forward and get to the 2 rear ones. And all of these are going to come out using a 13. Okay, we've now got one more bolt right there. This one here actually goes through to the underside of the vehicle, so it's going to pick up a bit more rust. If you need to, go underneath and spray it with penetrating oil. I think we're doing okay here. Okay, here's our 18, and that'll do it. That's not too bad. Okay, now just in case it wasn't obvious, this is completely loose, with the exception of a single wire back here. That wire connects up to the seat belt detector, so we need to make sure not to yank on that too hard as we remove the seat. There is a plug under there we got to disconnect. Old French fry. There's our plug. Looks like I just need a little plastic tool or maybe a screwdriver to free that there. I don't like using metal tools on plastic clips. It often ends in tears, but I think this one will take it. There we go. Okay, that's all we need to pull the seat out. There's the one that we can see actually goes all the way through. Be a good opportunity to vacuum under here as well. Sunflower seeds, random piece of fabric, another seed. Okay, here's what we're looking at. I believe I did some repainting on this when we put it together. You need to start by removing this plastic piece on the side here, and I believe there are a total of 1, 2, 3 screws to get that. Those are long ones. Not quite so long. All right, next thing we have to do is remove these 2 seat rails. When we do that, this here will actually fall out loose because it's just wedged in there. But to get at those, we actually need to remove bolts from the bottom side there. There's one right under there, one back under here, and then 3 and 4. These 4 under here I'll want to remove with a 13. One rail is now fully loose. It's just going to walk off like that, and then as promised, that thing falls. Okay, at this point, I'm going to take pictures of how this is all put together in case I forget later. Got a hog ring tie to cut right here. That was quite something. Now that we've done that, this should, with some encouragement, unhook from this steel thing here. There we go. So that's how the front comes off. This side over here is going to be the exact same thing. On this side over here, it's just two little plastic rivet clips that pop out. There we go. Next up, we got a bolt there and another one up here that go into this frame. For sure, both of those have to come off. Over on this side, we can unscrew that, but it's going to require large torques. Looks like that there wants to be a T45. On this side, we have 13s again. It's not so bad. Both identical, so it doesn't matter which way you put them back in later. And it looks like they both had a bit of blue Loctite as well. Okay, now I've got the base separated from the back. If all went well, there should be nothing that's still holding this from the bottom side. It's going to be hog rings on the top side of the foam. And actually that there looks like it's willing to lift all the way out. We're getting hooked right there. We go. So there's the seat frame out. And there is the foam. Now where this gets tricky is we have more hog rings on the top side here. That's what keeps the stitching down into the foam when you're on the seat. Just don't accidentally cut the wire that's actually part of the seat assembly. That'll be a bad day. Okay, so 2 down in on that side. Expecting 2 more down in on this side. And there they are. There's one anyway. That finally should leave 2 more up here towards the front. 1, 2. It's gonna be hard to see what's going on in the old foam here because this has already started tearing out of the foam, but this wire is embedded down in the urethane. And then these things here have a wire through them. And you're supposed to get a hog ring around that wire and then pinch it in around that one in the foam, and then that's what causes the seat there to be bonded into this. Prevents it from sliding around as you're sitting on it. Anyway, here's the replacement from Summit Racing. Everyone says it needs to be trimmed slightly because it's a little bit large. It's going to be a little bit of a tighter stuff because it's not all collapsed down like this one. I mean, this here is nice firm foam versus broken down foam. I'd say other than the sides here, which might have to be trimmed back a bit, it's pretty much identical. Now this here is SUM-RP 2003-2-LH. That's left-hand side. As you can see, it's got the difference here. Right-hand side would be the opposite. This is advertised as for certain Jeep Wranglers, but it looks like for at least this ZJ seat and similar 97 to 01 XJ seats, it's pretty close. And we've even got our points in there where we need to hog ring the seat back in place. For that, I'm going to highly recommend that you get a hog ring tool. If you already have one, then the replacement seat does come with these rings. If you don't, then the hog ring kit from Summit Racing comes with these. And since there's a million of these here, let's just demonstrate real quick how this works. This tool is spring-loaded like this. And it has these little indentations right there. Purpose of that is you get that right in there, you work it down in where you need it, and then one hog ring. Well, here goes nothing. Wonder, should I work from the front first or from the sides? I think I'll try these front ones first. Find out how many of these they provided for us. And do they fit in this? Only just. Fortunately, this is almost impossible to show because you got to work down inside the foam here. We're going to make sure we're at least hooked around this wire. And jam way down here in the foam before running the tool, and it worked. Okay, that's one. This is just how it's going to go. 2. Two to go. Okay. There it is. That's everything from the top side. Now we find out if we can actually pull the frame back over this. Back of the cushion needs to come down into the frame, and it mostly does. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, intuition was right. This here's gonna need some trimming back, I think. Not a lot though. I mean, as much as possible, we want this to compress down behind the thing. Okay, the fit overall is looking pretty good. There's just a couple things that have happened. One, this paper tape that was along here to help prevent abrasion, it didn't really last. I think, however, that a bit of this black Gorilla Tape will do the trick nicely. So, it's just there to help prevent the leather from chafing directly against the metal. Alright, another thing that test fit proved is that we need to trim down the foam until it roughly lines up with what's done here. So coming around the corner, we want the full height, but then coming around down from here, we want to trim it down until it's just sitting above where that bar is going to rest and hold it in place. So that's a start. We'll see if that improves the fit a bit. Now on this side, it's going to be the same thing. I see 2 layers of lip here, and on this side, it looks like just it comes up to there, and that's it. Right about here, and maybe even just slope it a little bit to make more room for this to come up. Same deal. And then it looks like the front here, we do want the extra thickness of foam, even though it's really trying hard to fight us on that. So I think we just have to mash it down and pull it tight. Let's try slipping this back down in the back side there where it fits. Looking at this again, I think I'll go around the perimeter where I added the tape guard and just add more tape loops to really secure everything in place. Now, tucking this back in here seems to be fairly easy. Actually, that needs to go down between the foam. This one goes on the outside. There we go. I might actually have to stand on this or compress it some other way. There we go. In spite of appearances, we're not deep in prayer here. Although, when you have an old Jeep, prayer is sometimes more effective than a wrench. Dona eis requiem sempiternam. Rather, the stiffness of the new foam required extra compression so that the plastic hook strips could be reinstalled in their original locations. This is a good thing, because what really kills auto upholstery is crease lines. Those form natural folding points when the cushion compresses. As the foam breaks down, the upholstery compresses more, and the crease lines take more stress until they eventually crack. As such, installing new base foam is one of the best things you can do to save upholstery if it is not already badly stressed. If it is, the added tension of the new foam can actually split it apart. That can still be accessed there. That hole's almost lined up there, as is that one. So, yeah. Okay, so it looks like there was a hog ring tie there. And actually, I'm thinking I might want to make 3, because I could see that pulling loose. Good. Yeah, I like that better. Same thing over here. There, that's a little more secure than it was when I took it off. Okay, get the back put back on. It should be as good as it ever was. Okay, so the two on this side had blue Loctite for sure, and I'm thinking all three of these really should. So, we're just going to put a small amount. Okay, try and get that started but not tightened. Again, blue Loctite. Before we finish tightening that, let's come over on this side and get that one started. Actually, let's turn this side, please. To avoid getting blue Loctite all over, I think we'll put it down here first. Once again, T45. Done. Tighten that up and get the other sides taken care of. Oh, tight as it needs to be. Tight enough, and tight enough. Loctite will take care of the rest. This is the outside facing the door. Inside rail here is the one with the seatbelt on it. And those two studs there need to line up with those two holes there. I'm going to put a couple of these on, and I don't like the idea of Loctiting them just because they didn't come loose after the last time I put them on, and if I do, they're really awkward to get at under here, so let's just try torquing them the way we did before. They are flange nuts. I don't think they'll cause a lot of problems. And these, as I recall, seem to like a 13. They still do. Okay, we'll come and tighten those in a minute once we're sure everything lines up. For the seat rails, we got two more pieces. This one here is going to go on like this. But in order to install that, we have to also get our lever, again, facing up so that you can reach it with your hand, on here. Two more flange nuts, 13 mil again. One's going to go right under this rail here, and one up under here. And in case it isn't obvious, if this gets bent out of shape, you can just, until it sits nice and tight on these again. It should have a little springiness in it so it doesn't rattle. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey feels backwards when you're working upside down. Some of you know that these XJ seat frames are famous for cracking welds there, for example, there, things like that. This one still seems to be in good shape. That one there might not be as tight as it should be, but I'm not having any issues with it. It's not wiggling. If it is, then you have to get someone who's good at welding to fix it for you. That hole is almost lined up too, so that's working good. Now for the plastic trim piece, this hole and that hole line up with that space and that space. And this one here actually goes under the leather to help secure it a little better. Now this one has some issues too, so let's put it on loosely before we put it on tightly. Now since these were seats out of a ZJ Grand Cherokee, the reason there's a big hole in the leather over here is that's of course where the power seat controls were located. The part I don't understand is why I've suddenly got all this extra lumpiness over here. Unless that was just tucked down in there like that originally, I'm not sure. Might have been actually. We now have a seat with a very firm cushion. Okay, so first step, heard the click, and now this needs to come back in. I said all the way in. Lining up over its bolt. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's some traces of blue Loctite in there. I don't know if I replenished it last time, but I probably should have. Now this awkward one right here, since it goes through to the outside, I'm going to take the liberty of putting just a little anti-seize on it. And we'll send it that way. in. Just a little dab of blue Loctite, not a lot, because this is inside the cabin. Okay, tight enough. Again. There we go. And finally this big boy. I think the reason this one is so different is this is the ultimate anchor point here. This is the last one to fail in an accident. Make sure the driver's seat doesn't just leave the chat. That one won't go far. Wow. My bum has never been so tightly secured. This is going to break in, of course, but I feel like I could ride on this all day. So $90 for the seat foam, a couple hours of work, totally worth it. The passenger side seat mostly repeats the driver's side process in mirror image. The seat rails have a different spread to clear the transmission tunnel, but there's still an 18mm nut and 3 13mm bolts with Loctite. And just like before, seat should now come out. The seatbelt comes with it, and there is no cord connected to this one. You want to lose a tire pressure checker? That's where it was. Once inside, 3 screws are removed to uninstall the plastic trim panel. The seat rails are removed in 3 pieces, again using 4 13mm flanged nuts. After that, the seat back removes with 2 13mm nuts on the outer adjuster side and a T45 Torx as the hinge pin on the inside. We then took a minute to unbox and inspect our right-hand replacement foam. And having confirmed that it was indeed a block of foam, we went to extract the old one from its seat cover. Once again, the same hog ring ties need to be cut and the same clip mechanisms released, although this time we did find a bit more dirt trapped in the folds and that required a bit of cleaning. Reattachment to the new foam and retaping of the seat frame also follow the same process in mirror image. Then we once again assumed the position and stretched the cover to a frightening degree in order to finish the reattachment process. Finally, we have a fully reassembled seat with Loctite in all the right places, and it goes back into the passenger side of the cabin from whence it came. One seat fully reassembled with a fresh, firm cushion. Oh yeah. Back out to the car we go, and we're done for the evening. A little tiny bit down there. Just gotta tighten all these down now that we know that they line up, and we're good. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again today. Hopefully you found that helpful, but if you are in a place where you can't get easy shipping to the Summit Racing seat foam, or you just feeling the pinch of your budget a little bit, another option is to track down a passenger seat in a junkyard and just pull out the foam. Exactly what we did when we disassembled our passenger seat, except we just threw that out. We had a new replacement. You could take that and with a little trimming to fit around the hinge, move it over to the driver's side. Not a perfect solution, but usually the passenger seat is a lot less broken down than the driver's seat, and that might get you a little bit more life at a low cost. But one way or another, get out there, make it work, make it yours. Thanks for joining us again today, and we'll see you again next time, whenever that is. Has anyone seen my phone?